comprehension 咧， the sinking of the RMS Titanic 咧就鐵達尼號啦。The RMS Titanic, a British passenger ship, sank on 14th of April 1912 in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean。咁就係話咧，呢個係一隻英國嘅船啦。咁而佢係1912年咧就係沉咗去呢一個嘅 Atlantic Ocean， 就係大西洋嘅。The sinking of the Titanic is often considered to be one of the worst ever maritime disasters。而呢一個咧就係呢隻咁大隻嘅鐵達尼號咧，當時嚟講咧係一個其中一個即係一個海上嘅一個其中一個最大嘅一個災難。There were approximately 2,224 people on board the ship, and 1,500 of these people drowned at sea. At the time, the Titanic was the largest passenger ship in the world。而當時咧就係載住2000幾人啦，差唔多係即係成100年前啦。咁而當時咧有其中裏邊咧就超過一半以上嘅已經係即係葬身大海㗎。咁而當時嚟講啦，嗰陣時係其中一隻最大嘅passenger ship， 即係意思係一隻載人嘅船啊，即係唔係載貨嘅船咁嘅意思。The boat was divided into sections according to the social class of the passengers。咁就係話視乎佢咩叫 social class 咧，即係佢哋嘅社會地位啊呢一個。The richer the passenger was, the better the nicer the room that they had to stay in was。咁即係話咧，越有錢啲人咧，啲房咧就會係越靚嘅。The richest passengers had access to a swimming pool, a library, a gym, and delicious restaurants。而最有錢嘅人啊，你見到就會可以 had access to 啦，即係 means 即係有權咧係使用乜嘢咧？泳池啦、圖書館啦，仲有係一個 a gym 就係指乜嘢咧？即係一個運動室啦 ，and delicious restaurant 同埋啲餐廳。They also had beautiful cabins to stay in with their own living room, bedroom and balcony。They 咧即係指翻嗰啲 the richest passengers， 即係啲最有錢嘅人咧，有啲好靚嘅乜嘢咧？好靚嘅嗰啲房啦去住啦，仲亦都有自己嘅客廳啦、睡房啦，甚至係有佢哋嘅露台嘅。The poorest passengers had to share a room with other people。而相反咧，最窮嗰啲咧就要同人哋分房啦。Many of the poorer passengers were heading to America。佢哋咧去邊咧？去美國。In search of the American dream。咩嘢叫做美國夢咧？接住就係解釋啦。The American dream was the hope of better jobs, better housing, and a better lifestyle than they could have in England。即係話咧，佢哋係希望有乜嘢咧？係有好啲嘅工啦，好啲嘅屋啦，甚至係好啲嘅乜嘢咧？生活嘅方式。They had spent all of the money they had on buying a ticket to travel on the Titanic。咁你可想而知咧，佢哋其實好窮，佢哋所有嘅錢只可以買到一張船飛嘅啫。And hoped that their dreams would come true。咁佢哋嘅 dreams 咧就係頭先我哋指嗰個嘅美國夢啦。咁我哋而家睇翻呢個第一題啦，究竟佢話乜嘢咧 ？Where did Titanic sail from and what was her destination？ 咁頭先我哋都講咗啦，佢係一隻咩船啊？佢係一隻英國船啊嘛，a British passenger ship。所以咧，佢應該係由邊度嚟嘅咧？就會係應該係由嗰個嘅英國啦出發。咁而頭先我哋亦都講過咧，佢哋嘅 heading to 即係去邊度啊？去邊度啊？就係去美國啦。咁所以咧，你會寫翻咧就係話Titanic sailed from the UK。 你可以寫翻 the UK 啦，或者寫翻 Britain 都得嘅。但係 Britain 記住就冇 the 㗎咯噃。And her destination， 有啲人會好奇怪，點解 destination 之前會用 her 咧？記住咧，船咧一般咧都會用 her 嘅，即係會形容係用一個女仔嘅 pronoun 去代替。Her destination was， 記住係過去式啦 ，was America 係美國啦。好啦，接住啦就係第二題啦。Give 3 differences between the conditions that the richest and poorest passengers were staying in。3個主要嘅不同啦。咁佢哋有啲咩不同咧？第一個不同就係點樣咧？最主要嘅不同咧，第一個咧就係佢哋嘅房啦，係好唔同啦。 就會靚啲啦。第二樣不同咧，就係嗰個嘅唔同嘅設施啦，即係啲 facilities 啦。咁仲有咧就同埋第三樣不同咧，就會係講佢哋有佢哋嘅 own living room、bedroom and balcony。咁所以咧就係有直情係有齊晒，淨有露台添嘅。咁呢一樣咧就係第三樣嘢咁唔同啦。咁我哋所以點樣去寫翻究竟個三樣不同係乜嘢咧？你會睇翻咧就係呢度啦，你會見到咧就係話 the richest people had 第一樣嘢啦。頭先我哋講過 nicer rooms that had living rooms, balconies and bedrooms。第一樣嘢就係佢哋啲房好啲啦，咁講清楚佢哋有啲乜嘢嘅設施啦喺間房裏邊。第三樣嘢咧就 they had better facilities， 咁樣咧，因為其實唔需要寫晒全部，你就講話佢嘅設施比較好啦。But the poorest passengers had to share a room and don't have these facilities， 就冇晒呢啲咁樣嘅好好嘅一啲設施啦。咁呢啲就係最主要嘅三個不同。好啦，輪到 What is the American Dream？ 咩叫美國夢咧？咁其實就照抄嘅啫，呢一題就咁。The American Dream was the hope of better jobs, better housing, and a better lifestyle than they could have in England。咁你睇翻啦，呢個 It is the hope of better jobs, better housing, better lifestyle than in England。咁就希望係喺美國度咧係尋找一啲好啲嘅生活。咁我哋接住睇埋個古仔啦。佢話 4 days into the ship's journey, the captain, Edward John Smith, received an emergency call, telling him that there were icebergs in the sea。咁呢一個咧就係咩叫 icebergs 咧？就係啲冰川啊。咁Captain Smith had been a sailor for 40 years and had been the captain of many other ships。即係話佢其實係好有經驗㗎，成做咗水手40年，亦都係好多其他船嘅乜嘢船長喎。He had been told that the Titanic was an unsinkable ship, so he chose to ignore the warning and keep on sailing at full speed。好啦，咁佢覺得咧，即係一直咧隻船咧喺未出發之前，一直都係話一隻咧係乜嘢啊 ？unsinkable ship， 即係一隻咧唔會沉嘅船啦。咁所以咧，佢就選擇咗乜嘢啊 ？ignore the warning， 即係不理會嗰個嘅警告啦，就 keep 住係咁喺度航行啦。A few hours later, the Titanic crashed into an iceberg, which torn a huge hole in the side of the ship。於是就製造咗嘢啫，即係佢撞咗去個冰川度啦。於是咧就整咗個好大個窿，咁啲水就開始即係湧入去隻船度啦。Water flood into the ship。OK， 咁隻船因為入咗水就會開始下沉啦。咁我哋睇翻呢個第四條問題啦。Was Captain Smith an experienced sailor? How do you know？ 咁你要一定要先答 yes 或者 no 啦。Yes，Captain Smith。記住用翻 was 喎，你睇翻題目啊嘛。Was an experienced sailor as 乜嘢啊？咁你就會講翻佢之前嗰啲經歷啦。咁佢嘅經歷係乜嘢咧？ He had been a sailor for 40 years and had been the captain of many ships before he became the captain of Titanic. Okay, as he was an experienced sailor as he had been a sailor， 要用翻 had been 嘅 a sailor。for 40 years， 即係做咗40年嘅水手喎，40年喎，即係好長時間。Yes， and had been the captain of many other ships， 即係其他船嘅一啲嘅船長啦。第五題啦 ，Why didn't Captain Smith listen to the emergency warning about the icebergs？ 做乜嘢佢唔聽咧？點解佢唔聽咧？咁你就寫翻啦。This was because， 因為點解佢唔聽咧？就係因為佢認為佢隻船唔會沉咯。文章裏邊講過啦，佢覺得係點解啊？佢就係覺得隻船係唔會沉嘅，所以佢就唔聽啦。你見到 so 佢點解唔聽？原因就係之前嗰一句就係因為佢覺得隻船係唔會沉嘅，所以佢唔理會嗰個警告。咁你就寫翻 This was because he 翻上邊嗰個啦 had been told that the Titanic was an unsinkable ship。 係一隻唔會沉嘅船啦，所以咧就會係unsinkable ship， 就係一隻唔會沉嘅船，所以咧佢唔聽啦。What happened when the ship crashed into the iceberg？ 究竟隻船當佢撞入啲冰川，究竟發生啲咩事咧 ？What happened？ 咁你會寫翻咧，就係應該係 when the ship crashed into the iceberg， it 或者 she 都得啦。好啦，就會 it 乜嘢啊？佢話隻嗰個冰川係 tore a huge hole in the side of the ship。tore 咧係 tear 嘅 past tense，tear 嘅 past tense。咁所以呢一個咧係一個即係撕開咁嘅意思啊，即係有一個撕爛咗嘅意思。咁所以咧睇翻呢一個啦，就會係when the ship crashed into the iceberg， 你會掛佢啦。咁你就會話咧，就係呢個應該係唔應該用 she， 應該係話嗰個 iceberg 或者用翻嗰個 the iceberg 好啲，就係 the iceberg tore 即係撕開啦 ，tore tore a hole in the side of the ship， 即係話咧就係喺隻船隔離嗰度咧就整咗個即係整爛咗佢，變咗有個窿啦。and 咧要寫埋後邊嗰句嘅喎，因為 and water began to flood in， 即係話咧開始咧就湧入去啦。咁呢個係2分嘅，你會見到，因為咧第一個咧就係話整咗個窿啦，第二個咧就係講啲水咧開始湧入。What was Carpathia and what was her mission？ 究竟佢嗰個嘅任務係乜嘢咧？同埋即係這個是什麼咧？最尾嗰段啦 ，There were not enough lifeboats on the ship to save all of the passengers because the man who had designed the ship also believed it to be unsinkable。即係嗰個人設計隻船嗰陣時，覺得隻船係唔會沉，所以就擺唔夠嘅 lifeboats， 即係唔夠嘅救生艇啦。Women and children were allowed to climb into the lifeboats first。咁因為女性同埋即係啲細路仔通常都會即係視為比較弱啲啦，咁就要先照顧佢哋。So many men were left on the ship and died。咁因為唔夠救生艇啦，咁好多人咧就即係只可以係點樣啦？就係只可以唯有喺個船度咧而死咗啦，因為佢哋救唔到出去。Many lifeboats left without being full because people were so desperate to escape the sinking ship。好啦，好多嘅嗰啲嘅救生艇咧離開嗰陣時咧，竟然係唔滿嘅。點解咧？因為啲人咧好即係佢哋好 they were so desperate to escape the sinking ship。而 desperate 咧係極渴望咁嘅意思啊，即係 extremely eager， 即係好渴望去離開呢隻沉嘅船。咁因為個個都即係好爭先恐後啊，咁同埋好即係好想咧，反而啲船就唔滿啊，即係變咗。Only 705 people survived the disaster。咩叫 disaster 咧 ？disaster 係一個災難啦。咁樣咧就係只有好少人去即係可以生還啦。2 hours after the ship sank， 兩個鐘頭之後咧 ，the HMS Carpathia arrived to collect the survivors， 即係嗰啲咧係仍然生存嘅人啊，啲生還者 from the lifeboats， 即係話咧要過咗2個鐘頭咧先至有一隻船，而呢隻船咧叫做就係 Carpathia 啦。咁我哋睇翻呢度最尾個題咧，就係話 What was Carpathia and what was her mission？ 咁究竟呢一個係咩嚟嘅咧？咁你講咧呢個 Carpathia was乜嘢咧？可以話係一個 rescue boat 啦，應該係一隻 boat 啦，或者係 rescue ship 啦。And her mission 即係佢嘅任務咧係做乜嘢咧 ？Was to save the survivors from the disaster, from the Titanic 或者 from the disaster， 即係從呢個災難裏邊救咗嗰啲生還者啦。好啦，第8題啦。If you were Captain Smith, what would you have done to save more people on Titanic？ 即係話，如果你係佢嘅話，你係個船長嘅話，你應該會做乜嘢咧？咁你會寫翻咧，就係照寫翻啦。If I were Captain Smith， 咁你就會講咩？I would have listened to the warning， 即係我會聽嗰個嘅警告啦。About the iceberg， 即係話咧，我會聽嗰個話附近有一啲嘅iceberg， 即係有啲冰山嘅一啲嘅警告啦。I would have listened to the warning about the iceberg so that I could have saved more people。即係我會聽嗰個警告，會救到更多人啦。